Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons on Open for Adventure. Today's a very special session. It is a solo session featuring Kate, aka Deirdre. And Kate, do you want to describe the circumstances that led us to this session?
There's a lot. So, Ectiarn had made a deal
Your patron.
Yes, Ectiarn, my patron, had made a deal with Tatiana, Queen of the Fae, saying that he was risking his immortality on the fact that Deirdre would remain loyal to him. And he told Deirdre, hey, be loyal, don't be stupid. Deirdre's like, cool, okay. And
what did she do?
She thought she'd be clever and honor the letter of the agreement and not the spirit of the agreement. And that went about as well as one might think it would.
Fell in love with another party member.
And it was a big secret. And then when the party was going to the Well of Wonder, and Gravitas was like, hey, I'll give you cool shit if you give me really big secrets. Deirdre's like, cool, okay. And immediately spilled her biggest secret and killed Ectiarn, although she didn't realize it at that time. And then they got to the well. Deirdre asked her a question about her mother and her mother's location. And then as the group was leaving, she went back and asked another question, which was how she could save Ectiarn, and everything went to shit that she could see.
She discovered that there was no saving her patron,
Nope.
that he was already fated to die.
Yep.
And in such, ended up being offered a deal.
By Vecna. Basically saying, hey, your powers are going to kill you if you don't take a patron. I feel nothing for you, but you're useful and you're powerful. And Deirdre, in the throes of her grief, does not insight check him, which...
Why would she?
Why would she?
It's Vecna.
It's Vecna. It's fine. It's just the god of secrets. It's fine. And she took him at his word and agreed to the deal. Later, after they'd come down from off the mountain, realized what she'd done, because it had taken a few days, and panicked, got super depressed, really angry, just ready to throw in the towel, throw in everything. But Leona and Kesra, more Leona, less Kesra, took her to the Temple of Sarenrae, where Vecna had actually told her to seek out Leonis Stormwild anyway. And when the group found out that the Stormwilds were in the city, Deirdre sought him out, and Leonis told her about his past and about how he had made a deal with Vecna and had, in like a terrible, horrendous way, and said that Sarenrae forgives and would even forgive Vecna if he were true in his, wanting of forgiveness. And Deirdre collapsed on the floor and started sobbing. And then she received, when they were leaving, Amy said for her to come back the next day, and they would discuss things.
And here we are. So, after your long day with the group of seeking out this missing girl, getting resolution on that, you depart from your party for the first time since you met them.
Yeah.
It is maybe 3 or 4 in the afternoon. It's a clear day. Winter. You think it might snow later, but the ground is hard and crunchy underfoot. The city is bustling. Everybody is getting off of work or running errands or otherwise living their daily lives. And you are brought to the new temple of Sarenrae. You know for a fact that this temple was built recently. In fact, within the last decade. That's because Sarenrae herself was a lost deity. She was completely forgotten by the mortals of this world. But two individuals were able to bring her back together. Husband and wife, Amy and Leo Stormwild. And that is who you're here to meet today. As you approach this temple, you are greeted by this massive stone structure made with white stones, gilded inlay. Less gilding than you're used to seeing on temples, though. It seems as though this temple was designed with minimal kind of... There's no ostentatity? That's not a word. There's nothing ostentatious about this temple. Most of the light is almost all the light is natural from these massive stained glass windows of bright reds and blues and purples and yellows and golds, depicting different parts of Sarenrae's teachings, different iconography of her, of the Stormwilds. The floor is solid concrete, polished stone, and as you walk in, you see that there is a man waiting for you. He is familiar, incredibly tall. In fact, the tallest man you've ever seen, taller than Marshall and Ray. Long white blonde hair pulled into a tight ponytail at the back of his head. You can see a faint scar over his left eye. Pale skin, full plate armor, and a massive great sword swinging from his hips. He is every bit like you would imagine a holy knight of Sarenrae to be. He doesn't smile when he greets you, but he gives you an acknowledging nod. I'm glad you came.
I am too. Sorry, I'm a little worse for wear. It's been a day.
I understand. Come as you are. Follow me. As you walk with him, he leads you past the center altar of the Dawnflower, and you can see it is a large pool of water over which hovers a massive statue of the Everlight, her hair wreathed in flame, massive golden wings sprouting from her back, a pleasant smile on her face, a scimitar at her side. She is every bit the picturesque goddess of redemption and heroism and love and light. And you pass by her, and he takes you across the temple to the back left, and he opens a door. Down in front of you is a set of stairs. He opens the door for you and offers to let you go first.
Thank you. And I will descend.
It's dark at first. You have dark vision, though, so it's not hard for you to see in these shades of gray. It's a spiraling staircase down, and the first part of it is still new, just like the rest of the temple. But after you get to the first landing, the walls, the material that makes up your surroundings starts to change, and you notice it's older. It's like this temple was built on top of something.
Huh.
And as you get down to the next landing, you enter another long hall directly underneath the hall that you came from. And at this point, you've gone down maybe 100 feet below the ground. And the hall is clearly not in use by anybody on a daily basis. It seems to be more storage, but as you look around, you notice that this used to be something greater than what it is now. Leonis descends behind you and says, "When my wife and I first began to build temples of Sarenrae, we sought out old temples. Temples that we had visited in our past, before the Dawn War. This was one of the very few surviving. Buried underneath the city. Long forgotten. This was once the biggest temple of Sarenrae in all of the land."
I was gonna say I was surprised that it was still standing in any capacity, but if it was the biggest, then less so.
Yes, it was destroyed after the war, buried in an earthquake, a landslide from the mountains. This whole town was, actually. And those who remained built on top of it. However, Sarenrae was long gone, as you know.
Yes.
And there was no one to blame but me. You remember I told you that I too made a deal with Vecna. He was... oh, shit. That I too made a deal with the Whispered One. That was Camille. And it could have ended very badly. In fact, it did end very badly if you consider what happened. Now, we are protected from his prying eyes here. This temple is very old, but its magic still stands. We built this temple here on top of another, actually. So there are 3 layers. There's the temple that you know, that you see, the new one. There is the one we are currently in, the old temple of Sarenrae. And then beneath here, there is one more. A temple of great evil. Temple to a god long dead, long forgotten. We built it here to try and root out the vileness and evil that stained the ground here. To try and bring her presence here and do what Sarenrae does best. To heal. And it did. Now it has a different purpose. Now it is used for those who wish to prove themselves to the Dawnflower. You have his eyes on you. And that will never change no matter what you do. We cannot change that. Are you willing to prove yourself?
Yes.
There are some trials that you may go through as we descend down to the 3rd and final temple. But even after you do this will not absolve you. Not truly. It is not a one and done type of deal, if you understand my meaning.
No, I do.
I was not made a warlock of the Whispered One, so your journey will be different than mine. But after these trials, you will have to rid yourself of him. We can grant you powers to do so. Perhaps lend you aid, maybe give you the right direction. But only you can rid yourself of him.
Okay.
This, up ahead of you, is to prove to Sarenrae that you are willing to do what needs to be done. Do you understand?
Okay. Yes. Yes, I do.
Are you ready?
I don't think I'm ever going to be truly ready.
That's the spirit. My wife... Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. I'm as ready as I can be.
My wife, Amy, wished to accompany us down here, but I told her that she would not understand. She is the great Redeemer, but I know what it's like to feel as though you cannot be redeemed. You killed your god, and I killed mine.
Yes.
I want you to know that there is hope. But this will be the hardest thing that you ever have to do. Not today, but for the rest of your life. To redeem yourself. Not just to Sarenrae, but to yourself.
I feel unforgivable.
Just remember that her light is everywhere. All you need to do is look. Follow me.
Okay.
He takes you across this great hall, which now serves as something like storage. There are a lot of crates, a lot of bookshelves, dusty old tomes. And you are taken to the far side, and there is another door. A few more chambers pass, all more dusty than the last. And finally, he comes to one and he opens a trapdoor. From there, he descends first. And you are finally in another room entirely, another construction entirely. You sense that you are finally in the old temple, the oldest. It smells like ancient decay and dust down here. And it's just a large square room with one more door at the end. Leonis reaches into his pouch and pulls out a key. Do you have any questions?
No. No. Not anymore.
You are not the first to go through this, and you will not be the last. If that gives you any ease.
I would not wish this on anyone.
He unlocks the door. And you can see, as he does so, you didn't see before, but symbology of Sarenrae covers this door. Each silver is inlaid with ancient silver and platinum. He turns it once, and you hear click. Again, click. Again, click. With each click, The door begins to glow. This glow spreading out in a circle, wider and wider. 7 clicks, and the door swings open.
I will briefly touch the symbols that are etched into the door. And I'll grab the handle and pull or push, whichever is appropriate.
He's got it open for you, yeah.
Okay. Thank you for letting me try. And I'll walk through.
The door closes behind you. Rough slate stairs lead down this dark stairwell. The stones of the wall are slick with condensation. You have no idea how far underground you are at this point. At the bottom of the steps is another wooden door. It's plain, but you can see that there is writing on it. It is celestial.
What does it say?
Of all of the words of gods and men, the saddest are, it might have been.
I acknowledge the truth of this. Is the door unlocked?
It is.
And I will open it and go through.
It pushes open, and you step inside, and it closes behind you. Beyond this door is a circular room, maybe 50 feet across. Your attention is immediately brought to the center. You can see a brazier burning with a golden magical fire, and you can almost feel its warmth on your skin. Along the circumference of this room are 7 pedestals. They each rise about 3 feet from the floor. Atop of each pedestal is an ethereal figure that is maybe a foot high. They glow blue and are translucent, almost like an illusion. Would you like to go inspect them?
Yes, I would.
Okay. The first one that you see is a sword. It is the one directly closest to the door. Which way do you want to go, right or left?
The left.
Okay. There's a sword. And then the next one is a crown. The one after that, a rose. The one after that, a lyre. And the one after, a horse. The one after, an angel. And the final is a dragon.
Is there any writing anywhere? Any sort of direction?
Make an investigation check.
Stats. 13.
You don't see any writing anywhere, but there is a door on the far side and it is locked. So far, you see you have this bright. My roommate's cat would like to join us. There is like I said, the bright burning flame and the 7 pedestals.
Does it look like there's a mechanism on the pedestals?
As you go up and inspect one of the pedestals, which one would you like to go inspect?
A horse.
You go up to it and you reach your hand and you can interact with it. You can pick it up. You can touch it. You can feel it.
I'm going to bring the horse over to the brazier.
Okay.
And I'm going to put it in.
Okay. You take this translucent horse and set it into the flames, and the fire roars brighter, turning red, orange, as it is fed by this. You wait. And after a moment, you hear a soft voice from no location in particular. Regret is a weight which keeps us from soaring. And the door opens on the far side of the room.
I'll go through it.
Okay. There's another small hallway, curving to the left, with another door. Again, written in golden celestial, you see. There is no fire like passion. There is no dragon like hatred. There is no snare like folly. And there is no torment like greed. It's not locked.
Go through.
Okay. This is a square room. In the center on the floor, you see immediately a mural of the symbol of Sarenrae. And there is a large stone circle in the very center of it. On the far side of the walls, you see stone depictions of mouths all over, surrounding this door frame. What would you like to do?
I want to go investigate the different mouths.
Okay. They are... make an investigation check.
21.
Okay. You walk around the mural to the mouths, and there are maybe 10 of them, all varying shades and sizes, different creatures, nothing else attached to them, no eyes or noses or anything. The inside of them is a darker stone, like black obsidian. You do with that 21, you would notice that there is writing on the floor in the center of that stone of the mirror. There is writing on the stone in the center of the floor of the mural.
Is it in Celestial? Can I read it?
It is in Celestial, and it is a quote, and it reads, "On my honor, I shall not move."
Okay. I will go to the center.
Okay.
And I will stand there.
You stand there for a few moments and nothing seems to be happening.
Okay.
Do you speak it out loud?
Yes.
Say it.
On my honor, I will not move.
As soon as the words leave your mouth, you watch as these mouths open wider, and from these maws, lava begins to flow.
Stand still. I don't move.
The lava grows hotter and hotter. It gets closer and closer, coming directly towards you. You can start to begin to feel it sear your skin.
I felt similar pain. It's probably worse, honestly, but I don't move.
Okay. You're going to take 16 points of fire damage as the lava begins to burn. It's not touching you yet, but just the residual heat begins to burn at your skin.
Yep.
You look, and it's continuing to the back of the room. There is a path behind you to the door. And the lava continues to flow backwards, only leaving the small trail behind you.
I don't move.
You're going to take another 16 points of fire damage. You can feel your skin start to sweat, burn. The skin on your legs feeling a little crispy. Just as the lava gets to the back of the room, you see that there is still that trail to the door.
No.
20 points of fire damage.
I'm unconscious.
What? 19 points of fire damage.
I'm unconscious.
Are you really?
I walked into that at half health.
I didn't realize that. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. All right, that's fine because that was the last one. God bless it.
I didn't have time to rest and heal myself up. We literally.
Can we backtrack and say that you took a short rest and you got your hit points back?
I was at 39 hit points walking into this.
Okay, put yourself back up to full.
Okay. You said come as you are. Thanks, Leo.
DM thought that meant you were at full health. Listen. You begin to... Okay, so that's fine. This is fine. This is totally fine because as you feel yourself begin to slip into unconsciousness and the floor begins to rush up to meet you, you take in a deep breath and a steadying breath. And as you exhale it out, the lava disappears. And you're at full health. And you hear a small voice in your head again. Redemption is found by those who are steadfast. The door opens.
I walk through.
Okay. The hall curves more to the left, and once again you're greeted with another door. Same size, same style. And once again in Celestial, there is something written. It says, Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. Do you go in?
Yes.
Okay. So, you open the door and it creaks open in front of you. Immediately, you can sense that the area that you are in is a series of halls. You recognize this as a bit of a labyrinth. What do you do?
I start walking.
Okay. You enter, and it is a series of lefts, rights, straights. Make an intelligence check.
Not very good. 6.
You do begin to hear sounds of creatures echoing through the halls. You're not quite sure what they are, but you know you're not alone. Go ahead and give me a survival check.
That's much better. 19.
Okay. You begin to navigate this maze. After maybe 5 or 6 minutes in here, you do come across your first monster. Up ahead of you, you see movement. It is bipedal, sharp, almost like dagger-like extrusions from their back. Massive claws. One big green eye turns to look at you, mouth wide open. This is a Nothic. Roll for initiative.
Okay. Ten.
Better than them. This creature's about 30 feet in front of you. What do you do?
Ooh. I am going to cast Eldritch Blast at it.
All right, make an attack roll.
Okay. 23.
That will hit.
And then do you want me to roll for the second attack as well?
Yeah.
The second one is a natural 20.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me some damage.
All right. Where's my D10? There you are. First hit is 3 points.
Okay.
Second is 7 doubled to 14.
Where's the math teacher when you need him?
14 plus 3 is 17.
Yeah. Got it. Thanks. These Eldritch Blasts that leave your hands, these are the first Eldritch Blasts that you have cast since your patron died. These Eldritch Blasts that leave your hands are these bright, gray, white orbs, colorless, completely monochromatic. But as they strike, they leave these long, gaping gashes in the Nothic. The Nothic cries out, "Ah!" and begins to run at you.
Okay. I'll end my turn.
Okay. So, it's going to make 2 claw attacks at you as it runs towards you.
Okay.
That's going to be a 17 to hit.
Yes, it hits.
And an 18 to hit.
Yes.
As it collides with you, it brings its claws down your front and your side. You're going to take a total of 12 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
It brings us to your turn. You have this Nothic right on you.
I am going to... pull out my dagger and attack it with my dagger.
Okay. You quickly unsheath your dagger and go to stab. Give me a roll.
14.
That will not hit.
Okay. Bonus action. No, I don't have a bonus action. I'll just end it there.
Okay. You can't heal yourself on a bonus action?
I can. I
Okay. All right. No. So this Nothic is going to try and climb around your back and slice all over your armor as best as it can.
I hate that face.
That's a 17 and a 10, so it's going to be a 14 and a 21.
They both hit.
Okay. You're going to take another 12 points of slashing damage as it claws down from the side of your head, over your ear, down your back of your neck, and then along your side again.
Okay.
That brings us to your turn.
Okay. I'm just going to attack it with my dagger again.
Okay.
Much better.
Okay.
An 18.
That will hit.
Okay. And so it's... I never use my dagger. What's the damage? Okay. That is 3 plus 2 is 5 points of damage.
Okay. All right, you slice into its side, carving a nice chunk out of it. It's still going. It's bloodied, but it's still going. He's going to make 2 more attacks against you.
Can I use my bonus action to heal myself?
Yes, you certainly can.
Okay, cool. Thanks. I'm going to use 2 of my d6s.
Okay. I'm putting Dreamcatcher away because it's done.
Oh, God. Okay.
Because that's the second natural 20.
I can't heal myself because my healing light only works on after a long rest. So I don't have any of my healing spells left.
Oh, God. So the first one's going to be an 11 to hit.
Doesn't hit.
The second one's going to be a 19 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, you're going to take 6 points of slashing damage as it bites into your shoulder and starts to rip the pauldron off.
Okay.
It's your turn.
All right. I am going to...
Blight or something?
I do. I do have blight, but I have to get it off of me first.
Blight is touch. Or it doesn't have to be ranged.
Oh, that's good.
It's not an attack roll, it's a saving throw.
Yeah. Well, that's also a really high, powerful spell, and I don't want to waste it on Nothic.
Listen, I am just the dungeon master here. You do what you want.
However, I will cast Thunderstep.
Oh, okay. There you go.
And I will Thunderstep as far down the hallway from the Nothic as I can.
Okay.
It has to make a Constitution 16 saving throw.
It's a natural 18, unfortunately. Half damage? I'm done.
Half damage.
All right, go ahead and roll for me.
Okay. D10s. Come on. It's 4 D10, so,
Wow, okay, that's not terrible.
No.
In theory, you could kill it?
8, 12, 16. 20 points of damage.
Oh my gosh, look at this. That's a 20.
Yeah, but it's halved.
Oh.
Because it's saved.
Listen, I'm trying here.
You're trying real hard.
All right, so Okay, so the Nothic screams as you thunderstep away from it, breathing, panting heavily. How far away do you go? As far as you can?
As far as I can.
Okay. Let's get you about, what's the range on it?
90 feet.
Oh, shit. Okay, yeah, it gets you about, I'd say about 70 feet.
Okay. I only want to go 60. Nope. 70's fine. Just kidding.
Okay.
70's fine.
Okay. As you get this far away from it, it is screaming and recoiling and generally being pretty pissed off, and you start to hear footsteps running towards you from the other direction.
Then I will...
They're getting closer and closer.
I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast at the Nothic again.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
Yep. 16 plus 8 is a 24
That
for the
hits.
first one. And for the second, 12 plus 8 is not a natural 20, dirty 20.
That hits.
Okay, so 1d10 each. First hit is 5. Second hit is 10, 15.
You take this Nothic down just in time for the footsteps to finally reach you.
I whirl around. Get ready.
Deirdre! It's Kesra.
Yes.
What the hell are you doing? You look like shit.
Yeah. How did you get down here?
I thought you might need some help or something. Look at you.
I cast Detect Magic.
Okay. Go ahead.
Cast Detect Magic.
Oh yeah, I forgot you can do it. She's giving off her usual signature. Sword's magical. I'm trying to remember if she has anything else magical. Her armor is magical. Come on, let's look at you. Let's get you out of here.
I have to keep going. I can't stop.
You're gonna fucking die.
Well, then so be it. We've had this whole conversation, Kesra.
Yeah, but I thought you were gonna come into the temple and, do some weird hoodoo shit.
I gesture to the labyrinth around me.
All right, well then, let's go. Let's do this.
Are you sure? You don't. This is.
Fucking.
Kesra, I think this is something I need to do on my own.
Can you?
I don't know unless I try, or die trying. You can stay, or you can go. But just know that I need to do this. I have to at least try to make up for the things that I've done, and I will walk past her.
Do you look back?
No.
Up ahead of you is a right turn. And just past it is the door.
I lean my head against it for a second. And acknowledge that I was fully ready to die in this fucking labyrinth. And I keep going.
As soon as you put your hand on the door, you hear the voice echo. To say, I love you, one must first know how to say the I. You hear no footsteps behind you.
I'll walk through.
Okay. The door pushes open and leads you into a dark hallway. And when it closes behind you, you are surrounded by not just darkness, but magical darkness. You can feel the walls, less than a foot or so from either side of you, narrow. Continues that you see up ahead.
I can't see through magical darkness.
But up ahead you do see what looks like a light at the exit, at the end of this tunnel.
My first instinct is to follow the light. But at the same time, can both hands touch either wall?
Mm-hmm.
Then I will keep my hands on the wall as I walk.
Okay. You take your hands and place them on either of the wall and walk forward. And you walk. And you walk. And you walk. Through this seemingly endless tunnel. And it keeps going. Doesn't matter how long you walk, it seems like the light is the same distance away.
I keep my hands on the wall and I close my eyes.
Okay. You can still somehow feel the light ahead of you. But as you close your eyes and you keep walking, taking a few stumbles here and there, still seems to be no end.
I open my eyes. I look up.
Darkness. The light is still the same distance away.
I turn around and look behind me.
The door's right there. Maybe 10 feet behind you.
I try to walk away from the light. Whether that's towards a wall, through a wall, I want to see if there's...
You try and push on either side of the walls, and they're both solid, and then away from directly, if you turn your back to the light, you're faced with the door that you came in. Maybe 10 feet in front of you.
I want to open it just to see if it's the same area.
Creak it open. It is.
I say... I'm Deirdre.
Nothing happens.
Can I get any sense of this room? Any sense of...
What to do?
Yes.
Make an intelligence check.
16?
Okay. The light has stayed the same since you entered this room. It hasn't grown larger, smaller, closer, farther, brighter, dimmer. It's been a constant, small bead in front of you.
Can I reach out?
You reach out and you can feel the edges with your fingertip.
I grasp it.
You wrap your fingers around it and you pluck it. You can see its lights beaming through your fingers, and you open your hand and the entire room lights up. And you see the door in front of you. You hear a voice. Always look for her light, and you will find it within reach.
I hold it close for a second.
You feel the warmth enter your chest, and for a moment you are basked in bright white light. You can see it radiating from your skin. You regain all of your hit points. And you get the benefits of a long rest.
There's a tear, just one. I don't wipe it off. I just let it sit and I open up the next door.
Okay. This leads you to another hallway curving to the left. And at the end is another door. Lo and behold, this one reads in Celestial. A clever trap before you, impassable as it may seem. A rogue's devices worked against, and magic fails to glean. A great reward and glory wait for those who still stand tall. Too bad the only way to pass is someone to take the fall. The door opens.
Thinking about the implication of that particular rhyme.
The door opens and you see a long and narrow hall, and immediately you are greeted with the sight of several traps, whirling daggers flying overhead, spikes in the ceiling, swinging axes, every once in a while flames issuing forth from sides of the wall. It's a long, and you can see just at the end, another door of this narrow hallway.
I'm still thinking about the poem. I try to light up my fingers.
With light?
Mm-hmm.
The room gets brighter, but the traps are still going. There doesn't seem to be a rhyme or a reason or a pattern. Although you may make an intelligence check if you'd like.
15.
You try and suss out some kind of pattern, some kind of rhythm, some kind of way you can maybe dodge out of the way, and it's totally unpredictable.
Then I know I can't discern it. The poem with the magic
not working is in the back of my head. But I'm going to try anyway. I'm going to try to cast Thunderstep and get to the door.
Okay. You cast Thunderstep, and you are immediately brought against a wall. Boom! You feel yourself jolted back.
That's what I thought. Okay. I walk through.
Okay. Make a dexterity saving throw as spikes fall from, or come at the side.
16.
Alright, that's 5. So you're going to take 3 points of damage, of piercing damage. And as you do this, you squat down. Make an intelligence check.
Natural 20.
There you go. You notice that as you're squatting down to try and dodge out of these blades, you notice there's about this much room between the traps and the floor.
I lie down on my stomach and the equivalent ye old army crawl, fantasy army crawl.
You need to army crawl. You can feel the fire blasting over your head. Spinning wheels, spinning saws coming out from the side. You can feel them whizzing against the top of your hair, almost feeling like they're going to cut this bun that you've got going on back here. And keep crawling and crawling. And you peek up, and there the door is.
I'm just gonna push it with my fingertips. I'm still scared to get up.
It opens.
I'm going to make sure that I am clear of all the traps before standing.
You do so. And it's easy enough. And once again, you just hear the same words. Too bad the only way to pass is someone to take the fall. Another long hallway leading to the left. Do you keep going?
Yes.
You walk into this room, and there's no words on this door as you enter. You walk into this room, and all around are seemingly random objects, but the first thing that draws your attention is, at the far side, is a gaunt and tired Etten. An Etten is a two-headed giant that lives in remote places and dwells in layers underground. It's wearing tattered animal skins and is completely filthy. It's giant, and it is chained to the ground, blocking the door. Now that you've caught sight of this creature, you see random objects all over the ground. An obsidian dagger. Go ahead and make a perception check to see what you see.
Okay. Perception. 17.
Okay. There are things all over the floor, and they're all resting on plates, stone plates. You see an obsidian dagger resting on a stone plate, a flint striker. There's a vial of what looks like acid, another vial of what looks like poison, a coil of rope, a length of copper, a small trident, and a fork. An eating utensil.
I'm guessing the giants noticed me.
It's noticed you. It begins to pull against its restraints and try to lumber up towards you, screaming and hollering, and the noises begin to echo against the walls. It is very close to death.
I am going to ignore the things on the plates for now. I'm instead going to hold my hands up. I don't speak, giant. But I'm just going to hold my hands up. And I will drop 4 of my d6s into the giant.
Okay. As you get closer and closer, it starts to lunge at you, pulling against its restraints. You see it blooding its own wrist to try and get at you. And it's, even though it's not much of a biter, its teeth gnash out and reach for you. Do you still put your hands on it?
I can do it within 60 feet.
Oh, within 60 feet?
But yes, I'm gonna try and touch it.
Okay. You reach out and you place your hand against its abdomen. Go ahead and roll the healing.
Okay. D6. 4 and a 4 is 8, plus a 6 and a 3 is 9, 17.
Okay. As you lay your hands into this creature, it stops screaming, it stops pulling at its restraints, and it begins to shift. It is no longer an Etten. It is a pony. And it nudges against you. The door behind you clicks, and you hear that voice in your head. Again, and it says, "Perhaps everything that frightens us is, in its deepest essence, something helpless that wants our love."
I'm gonna hold on to the horse for a minute and I'm just gonna cry. Okay, I'll go through.
Okay. Another hallway curving to the left. The last door has written on it, in Celestial, "Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes."
I'll go through.
You enter, and behind you the door closes suddenly and loudly. You turn back to look at it. But when you turn back, you see there is only a figure. Tallish, pale skin, bright eyes, silver hair, gaunt face. It's you. But it's not. You look older, thinner, dark circles under your eyes. She is staring at you angrily. What are you doing here?
Trying to fix the things I broke.
You can't. There's no fixing this.
I have to try.
There's nothing. Everything is ruined, and everyone is dead, and it's all my fault.
Yes. Yes, it is.
How could you say that? What do you mean it's all my fault? What's wrong with you?
I made bad judgments. And things may snowball, and I may be the butterfly that caused the proverbial hurricane. So it may be my fault. But I have to try to fix it.
Everything I do just makes things worse.
It does. And if that's the case, then the most I can hope for is joining those who've left, knowing that I tried my hardest, even if it wasn't enough.
But no. Everything that I've done, there's no redemption. There's nothing for me anymore.
There may not be anything. There doesn't have to be anything. You can make something of it. Dying is not easy. It's not cowardly. But in this case, it might not be the best thing to do. And we just have to keep going. We have to keep trying.
What do you mean we?
Are you not me?
Am I? I serve Vecna.
I look at her hands. What do her hands look like?
They're like yours, but the tendrils grow farther up, and it looks like her muscles are weakened from it. You get the sense that this reflection is of you in the future.
I will grab her hand and I will hold out my opposite one.
Don't touch me! Don't touch me! Stop!
It doesn't matter how far things go. You, I, we can end ourselves. And technically speaking, things will be fixed. Because we will not be around to see the repercussions of it. can't do that. You don't have to either. It doesn't matter if you serve Vecna. It doesn't matter how far you've gone.
Yes, it does. I've hurt people. I'm a terrible person.
So have I. I killed the man I loved more than anything in my entire life. And so did you.
And I hate myself for it.
Yes. Yes, more than anything. I want nothing more than to sprout wings and fly as high as I can and let myself fall. But I can't do it.
Then why don't you just leave? Me, go away from here.
No. No.
Leave! Leave me! Everyone does!
You are me. And if I'm leaving, then I am leaving. And I take her hand and I pull her with me.
Let me go! I'm not going with you!
Yes, you are.
No!
There are better things for you. Just as there are better things for me.
I don't see it, not after.
You don't have to.
No! She begins to cry and she falls to the ground and begins to weep at your feet.
I will get on my knees and I will just kind of lean over her and hug her and rub her back and just, it's hard. Living is hard. Living with your consequences and your decisions is hard. But that's part of living.
You embrace this version of yourself, wrapping your arms around her. She stops crying. Rests her head on your shoulder. And you hear the voice. But this time it has a source, and you realize it's always had a source. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. You realize it's always been your voice. It's always been you. The version of you begins to fade away. The door behind you appears, unlocked, open.
I am openly weeping. And I'll head towards the door.
Okay. You open it easily. And when you step through, you see it's the room that you started in. Leonis is sitting on a bench in the corner. Or not a bench, sitting on the stairs. Elbows resting on his knees, just waiting.
I'm gonna just fall to the ground and start crying. Keep crying.
For the first time you see this stoic, serious man kind of give way. As he kneels down, offers you a hand.
I'll wipe my eyes. I take it.
As you do, he lifts you up with an impossible strength. You thought Kessra was strong, but this is nothing in comparison. You feel him pull you in for an embrace, a hug.
I'll hug him back. And try not to cry again.
He stands there in silence. You get the sense that this is about as comforting as Leona's Stormwild gets.
So, a little more than Kessra, not by much. After a moment, I'll step back. Thank you for letting me try.
How do you feel?
Sad, but better.
Have you listened to what she said to you?
Yes.
Do you know what you need to do now?
I have to forgive myself. And I have to keep going towards better things. Towards the light.
Her light is always there. Especially when you are most alone, and especially when you feel like you do not deserve it. Now, I will not keep you down here much longer, but my wife wishes to pray with you.
Okay.
Will you meet her?
Yes.
Very good. Follow me. He leads you back up the stairs, and with each step you can feel yourself growing a little lighter. And you catch yourself in a reflection of one of the mirrors, and you see that there is a gentle glow about you for just a moment. Good?
Yeah, I'm fine. This is doubling up for green card and wiping up my tears. It's fine.
Fair.
Very good.
You're brought back into the old temple, and then into the new temple, where you see Amy Stormwild is sitting in front of the altar of Sarenrae, kneeling, eyes closed, long brown hair falling about her shoulders. And you see in that moment, you look between her and Sarenrae, and you almost see a resemblance. You see the angelic features of the High Priestess. You see her Aasimar bloodline, like a glow about her. And it's a beacon to you, a warmth. You feel drawn to it, pulled by your very core. And you look at her husband and you feel that same pull towards him now, knowing that you all have a shared celestial heritage. Leonis gives you a low nod and gestures for you to go ahead.
I will, excuse me, I will walk over to Amy.
You see her, but without even looking up, she smiles. She turns to you.
My face is all splotchy. I'm still kind of crying just a little bit.
She'll reach out her arms for a hug immediately.
Just collapse into it completely.
Oh, yes. It's a very good hug. She's queen of hugs.
Yeah, I imagine she's a very good hugger.
Yes.
She seems like she would be.
Yes. She gently brushes your hair, gives you a gentle, almost like a laugh, wipes the tears from your face. She takes your hands. I know that was probably a lot. But I was hoping that if you felt cold, you could take this moment to look at the dawnflower and say whatever it is you want to say to her. I don't know how accustomed you are to prayer, but I have found it to be a great comfort.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
I will. It's not very graceful. I don't know how these things work. I don't know how prayer works. I've seen how people close their eyes and talk in their heads, but that just doesn't seem right to me. So instead I just sit at the feet of the dawnflower and I look up and I just gaze at her. And I say, I'm still not sure that I'm worthy of the forgiveness that you offer. But I realize that that is for me to find within myself. That your grace is governed by the grace that we provide for ourselves. And your light is light that we can find within ourselves as well. I'm grateful for the realization that I'm not unforgivable, that I'm worthy of redemption. And I will do everything I can to honor you and to prove to myself that I am just as worthy. Thank you. Look back at Amy and be like, I don't know how it works.
She just gives your hand a squeeze. Kind of gives you a small laugh. You're doing great. You notice that maybe 5 or 6 feet behind you stands Leo. His arms, hands clasped in front of him, head bowed, seemingly in a prayer of his own. Amy looks back at her husband, and you see that look that makes your heart hurt. And she looks back at you and gives your hand another squeeze. You can stay here as long as you like. But I also know what it's like to need your friends. We are here for you, even if we're not physically here. You can find us at one of the temples. He's not hard to miss.
No.
Her light shines upon you, I see it. I saw it from the first time I laid eyes on you. I knew that you would be here one day. She told me.
Grateful.
So am I. What will you do?
I will, I'll honestly just kind of not curl up, but I'll sit on the floor with my knees up and my arms wrapped around my knees, just kind of like at the base of the statue, just kind of soaking everything in and processing. I'd say I stay there for maybe half an hour before I feel composed and ready to head back to my friends.
Okay. You gather yourself and you begin to take a few final glances around this brand new temple of Sarenrae, to feel her warmth and her light, and her presence, to see the smile of Amy Stormwild, the stoic glance of Leonis, to look on her face once more. You step out, knowing that even though you have a long and treacherous journey ahead of you, knowing that you have made possibly the greatest enemy of your life, knowing that within you is the greatest source of power and the greatest light that a mortal can ever possess, something that the Whispered One knows not. Love. And that's where
Before I leave. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Ruined my moment.
I knew where you were going.
Go ahead.
Before I step out, I do still have the bag with me because we just came from rescuing Charlie. I'm wearing my beaded necklace with Laricine's baby feathers on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take it off. I'm going to kiss the feathers. And I say to them, and I say to myself, I will wear you again when I have forgiven myself. And I will put it in the bag. And I will pull out the pendant of Sarenrae. And I will put it on. And tuck it in. And I will leave.
And that is where we'll call today's session.
I need to make myself cry one more time.
Hey.
I'm good.
Did you have different color washcloths?
Yes, I genuinely do.
Let me see.
I have red.
Oh my god.
And I couldn't find a yellow, but I had green and red because I figured those were the ones that I would need the most.
That's amazing. Can I get some shout outs in the chat from the chat for our lovely solo session today? Don't forget to check us out Mondays at 6:30 Central Daylight Time here on Twitch. You can follow the channel Open for Adventure on Twitter, and you can follow me on Twitter at CamilleDoesDND. Check out our merch store. Next Monday, you will see a brand new Deirdre t-shirt in the merch store. I promise. I promise. You want to go ahead and sign off, Kate?
Yes. I'm Kate. You can find me on Twitter at KatesD8s. You can find me on Twitch and Discord at Kates and D8s. And I play Deirdre.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you, Camille. Also, fuck you, Camille.
I love you too. Let me just. I didn't forget this credits stream.
Of course not. Never.
No. Anyway, this was great, you guys. Sometimes we do have these solo sessions if we need them, and if our players' schedules permit, and if there's a good place in the story, like there was today, for it. We are only able to do this with the lovely, the help of our lovely subscribers and our amazing cheers. So feel free to give us some love. We will see you next week. Until then, bye.
Bye.